Hello, welcome back. This is AGN Entertainment here, and I'm giving my thoughts on Gareth Southgate and the England situation. Now, like so many across the country, like millions and millions, I was watching the nil-nil game against Slovenia, and I was distinctly unimpressed by the England performance. Now, it would have been all too easy to come on here after the game and rant and rave, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to take a little bit of time to reflect on the performance and then come here with some coherent ideas and thoughts as to what is going wrong. Now, we've got three performances here: Serbia nil, England 1, Denmark 1, England 1, England nil, Slovenia nil. And that's produced 5 points and a first place finish in our group. Now, I think the biggest issue that we've got is that we're not beating teams convincingly. We are playing this pragmatic, negative, defensive football that has become a staple of Gareth Southgate's sides. If we think back to the World Cup in 2018, did we play vintage football? No, but we got the job done. If we think about that Colombia game, 1-1, went through on penalties. If we think about some of the other performances over the previous tournaments, the 2-1 against Denmark in the last Euros, again, not particularly convincing, but got over the line. Now, the one slight uh, difference, I suppose, or variation in that pattern was in the last World Cup in Qatar, where we absolutely dominated France. And I think it was the biggest, most unjust result that has been seen for a very long time that we did not go through. But we just didn't take our chances. Of course, Harry Kane missed that penalty. Um, but I think it's time that we need to move on now. I think it's the time where Southgate's had his opportunity with this group of players, and he has proved two things. First of all, he's proved that he's been the most successful England manager since, well, the likes of Terry Venables and even Sir Alf Ramsey, of course, who won the World Cup in 1966. Southgate has got us further than pretty much any other England manager since 1966. So he needs to be given credit for that. And I want to give credit where credit's due. He has been a good England manager, whatever anybody says. However, where I would criticize Mr. Southgate is that he just has not got the best out of offensive players. If you think about these tournaments, we've had the likes of Saka, Kane, Foden, Grealish in the last tournament. Of course, he didn't make it for this one. That may prove to be a mistake. We've had Cole Palmer, Kobbie Mainoo, Ollie Watkins, just to name a few. Jude Bellingham, of course, who has absolutely taken the world by storm for Real Madrid. Now, it seems that Southgate just can't produce attacking football. Now, the last club job he had, of course, was Middlesbrough, and that was quite some time ago. But it just appears that Gareth Southgate has not been able to unlock the attacking talent of what has been probably the most fruitful England side in terms of talent, youth, experience, a whole mixture of all of the elements you would need to win a tournament. He's not been able to unlock that potential. Now, I wonder whether there are many reasons for this. Now, tactically, Gareth Southgate is pragmatic, and he's also, um, as I mentioned, extremely predictable. He's not a man for changing, and tactically, I think we've been very static. If you look back at the last few tournaments, um, Southgate doesn't change much. We know that, and he has produced some good results, but never in the way of free flowing attacking football. He's not produced that ever. What we have produced is a dependable side that gets over the line, that can win tight games. They have proven that with the Denmark game, of course, in the semi final of the last Euros. But he just hasn't been able to unlock um, really the talents that we've got in the team. I think it's time to move on. Now, I'm going to be measured about this. I've already said that Southgate deserves his flowers for getting England to major uh, tournaments and actually leading us to the latter stages of those tournaments. But I think really that's where the praise sort of begins and ends. He's too samey, he's too pragmatic, he's too non-changeable. He's just not dynamic enough. He doesn't make changes to things. He doesn't make attacking substitutions. He doesn't allow players to express themselves. Everything has a very monotone ring to it. And I think if we really need to unlock this England side, we need to take the handbrake off. This defensive handbrake football where the press is off, players are being played in the wrong positions. Of course, he's tried Trent in midfield. It hasn't worked really. He's tried, a number of players in positions that perhaps they're not actually suited to playing. It's very interesting, isn't it, that we football people, we have our ideas, we have our tactical ideas, we have all of these discussions, whether it be in the pub, whether it be in the workplace, whether it be getting a morning coffee. We talk about tactics, and yet Southgate doesn't seem to have it within him to actually change anything. Now, the definition of madness, of course, as everybody knows, is doing the same thing again and again and again and expecting different results. And I think that's what we've got here with the manager. Now, I certainly don't condone some of the abuse that he got at the end of the game against Slovenia. Throwing beer at him and cups at him is completely unacceptable behaviour and cannot be condoned in any circumstances. It's entirely wrong. And I think we need to be balanced about this. He does deserve credit, but it is time for Southgate now to move on. If England are going to reach the next level, we need a manager who is not afraid to take the handbrake off and to allow attacking players to express themselves. An aggressive style of play with a high press, wingers being allowed to run at their fullbacks, and either with a quick man through the middle, like the likes of Ollie Watkins, or if you're going to play Harry Kane, you allow wingers to cross balls into the box, and we play in that style of play. We have a lower sort of team mentality, a weak team mentality, where we go 1-0 up and we just sit behind the ball and we let teams come at us. We sit back and we wait and we wait and we wait. We don't have an outball. We don't seem to be a particularly counter-attacking side. So really, what I want to know, people, is what kind of style would you say England play? What is the style? I don't know. I don't think Gareth Southgate knows. There's no plan A, really, is there? Is there a plan A? And there's certainly no plan B or plan C. Southgate's idea, seemingly, is just to put players on the pitch and to say to them, if you do go up 1-0, sit behind the ball, be defensively solid. Nothing wrong with that. We've seen Arsenal improve, the team I support, Arsenal. We've seen Arsenal improve defensively, but it doesn't have to come at the cost of offence and offensive play. If you're going to be a team that sits behind the ball, you need outlets. You need counter-attacking outlets. You cannot just sit in for, I don't know, 85 minutes after scoring the first 5 minutes, you get a goal up, and then you sit there for 85 minutes and you say, come on then, we're England. This is England. You know, I hate to sound like Gary Neville, sound a bit like Gary Neville. This is Manchester United. This is England. And, we're not Georgia. Greatest respect to Georgia. They actually qualified. They beat the Portuguese and they've got through. So, give them a lot of credit. But we're not one of the lower sides. We should not be playing like this. There's no ambition. There's no style. There's no plan A, plan B, or plan C. I don't know what plan A is. Do the players? Is there a plan B? Is there an out ball? I don't understand what this England team is trying to do. They're not gelling, and we know that these are good players. We know they are. Look at what they're doing in the Premier League. Cole Palmer, something like 23 goals last season for Chelsea. He's absolutely outstanding. Why has Southgate only given him, I don't know, sort of 23, 24 minutes over the course of the whole tournament? It's not good enough. He may as well have taken Jordan Henderson. If you wanted a dependable player, take Jordan Henderson. So Southgate's taken an attacking lineup and said to them, "You're going to continue playing how I played when I had Rice and Calvin Phillips in the midfield." It makes no sense. It makes no sense. What I'm going to challenge you to do, people, and I'm going to ask you first of all to hit the three punch combination: like, subscribe, comment. First, do that, and then second of all, drop in the comments what tactics you think England deploy in a game. Describe it to me. Tell me. Tell me what England do. Tell me the way England play. I don't know. I really don't at this point. I have no idea what England are trying to do. Um, Kane in the centre forward position, it doesn't make sense because you're getting more out of him defensively than you are offensively. The wingers aren't aggressive enough. Saka's tried. We've got to give Saka a lot of credit here. He's tried. He was brilliant in the first game, in the first half, setting up the goal for Bellingham. Quiet in the more recent games, though. But Saka's the only one that I've seen really try and run at his man in this tournament. Why has Anthony Gordon not been given more of a chance? He's aggressive. Watch Anthony Gordon at St James's Park. Shout out any Newcastle fans. You'll say he's electric. He's aggressive. Where's the aggression? Where is it? I am tired of defensive pragmatism. It's fine when it works, but it's not when it doesn't. It's boring, predictable, static, and stale. And it's time we made a change. I would like to see an attacking, dynamic manager who isn't afraid to experiment, isn't afraid to say to players, don't worry, go out there, express yourself. Now, I saw in a newspaper cutting, a newspaper article, I should say, that Harry Redknapp has been linked with the role. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but I wouldn't be opposed to it at this point. I really wouldn't. We need a manager that's going to come in and be brave. Southgate's not been brave. Now, I'm going to touch on the rest of the games that we've got. We have got the best chance to win a tournament since, well, could we have had a more favourable draw? We've got Slovakia in the last 16, but there's no guarantee we'll beat them. Absolutely not. Can't beat Slovenia. Are we going to beat Slovakia? I mean, I would back us to do so, but I don't think it's going to be comprehensive. I mean, who would bet that we're going to play attacking champagne football? It's not going to happen, people. It's just going to be a very tight game. I'm telling you now. You're looking 1-0. Could go either way. Could go to extra time. Could go to penalties. Anyway, we've got Slovakia, and then we've got the likes of potentially a last 8 draw with the likes of Switzerland, potentially. We don't actually meet a top side until the final because of how the draw has worked out. Now, Jamie Waffles Footy and we did a predictor. That is also going to be out at the same time as this video, so please check that out. We made our predictions. And the real irony, people, is that England could go further than they have done in a very long time. We could meet the same expectation. We could meet the same goal, the same end goal, the same end game, I should say, as we did in the last Euros when we came against Italy in the final and, we bottled it. We completely bottled it. But anyway, we could go far. So this is the thing. It's a very good opportunity. And we are playing the worst football that we've played in a very long time. Now, as I said at the top of the video, I'm not a fan of seeing the kind of treatment that Gareth Southgate's got. I do not condone people throwing bottles at him. That's disgusting, unacceptable behaviour, and it must not happen. Gareth Southgate deserves credit and a pat on the back for what he's done for England. He's done very, very well, and we mustn't forget that. But I think this tournament shows that it's time to move on. It's time to get a manager in who's not afraid to be brave, dynamic, not afraid to say to the players, just go out and play, and not afraid to have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. Um, that's what we need. That's what England need going forward. I don't think we are going to win this tournament, I'm afraid. In fact, I think actually it's going to be very tough to get past Slovakia. And if we do, then a very tough quarter final against whoever our next opponent will be in that. So let's watch and wait. Let's see how it goes. I would so love to be proved wrong. I would love Gareth Southgate to put out an attacking, dynamic lineup for the next game. I would love to see us playing in fifth gear from start to finish and winning a game 3-0, 4-0. But I just don't see it happening. And that's where I'm going to finish. So for me, it's Gareth Southgate. Thank you for all you've done. Sincerely, thank you for all you've done. You will always be remembered as one of the more successful England managers, but it's time for us to move on now. And it's time for us to start afresh. Let's see how we do against Slovakia. My prediction is England 1, Slovakia 0. I think we will prevail, but it's going to be very, very tight. Thank you for watching. Leave your comments, please. Please like, subscribe, comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you think I'm talking sense, and tell me if you think I'm talking rubbish. Either way, it would be great to have the comments there. I do reply. I'm pretty good at getting back to people that comment on my channel. So I would love to hear from you. Guys, have a good evening. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.